Next one comes from Games Radar, written by Austin Wood. Are we sure Star Wars Outlaws is a Ubisoft game? Its director says there are no map towers to climb out in the open world. Sounds like we'll just, explore instead. That's a fun little headline and subheader there. Don't you change, Games Radar. Don't you change. Ubisoft's next open world adventure, Star Wars Outlaws, breaks at least one of the company's time-honored traditions, climbing towers to progress the map. That's according to Game Informer's Brian Shea, who said on Twitter that Star Wars Outlaws creative director Julian Garrity of Ubisoft's Massive Entertainment outright confirmed there are not any towers you climb in the open world to unlock the map. What will we be doing instead of using binoculars or eagles or whatever universe-appropriate MacGuffin to scour the surrounding lands? She says, from what I understand, it's just your exploration, meaning the world's map's obscuring fog naturally clears as you explore new areas. There's an argument to be made that climbing towers or just tall things in general is fun to do in video games. Fittingly, Ubisoft Studio Reflections has a whole game about climbing things. 2, actually, in Grow Home and its unexpected sequel, Grow Up, both of which are great fun. But there's also something to be said for how predictable and processed stamped out towers can make a game world feel, to say nothing of how appropriate they may or may not feel for the setting. That's the whole arc. I don't need to keep reading that. But first of all, a new trailer came out for Outlaws last week.
Looked sick.
Looks so freaking good. I don't get all the hate. I don't know if you saw that on the internet. Everyone hating on the main character.
You know why? Because they've never gone outside and actually seen a woman. They don't know what women look like. They never talked to them.
I mean, all women look like the ones from Stellar Blade, right? That's how every woman...
Apparently. And they're not pretty unless they look like the ones from Stellar Blade, is what I understand.
Right. Exactly. No, it was wild. Like, Super Best David in the chat says, I'm pretty sure all women look like Jessica Rabbit.
They must.
They do. It's a fact, in fact.
Heaven forbid they look like just regular people, you know?
No,
I look like regular humans.
It was wild, like seeing all the hate on the trailer. I'm like, what are you talking? Like, it looks like a woman. It looks like anyone else. Like, I don't get it. And she's not. I'm not. And everyone's saying how ugly too. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, she's
not in the slightest. Are you crazy? Do you have eyes?
Do you have eyes?
Look again, brother.
Yeah. It was like there's nothing unattractive in my
just walk up to me
eyes.
talking about, hey, I need you to smuggle something for me. I'm doing this. I'm doing one of the classic pulling on my collar, getting the steam out. Are you bugging? You crazy?
Yeah, I don't know. But the trailer looks sick. I'm very excited about this game. And then it's a stupid news story, but at the same time, it got me excited. Like, are they breaking the Ubisoft curse here? For years, Ubisoft has had, for all their games, Assassin's Creed, for Far Cry, like any open world game they do, spin-off game, whatever, they've all felt very samey the last like 10 years. Watch Dogs, everything is kind of feels the same with a different skin on it. And so when we first heard about Ubisoft taking Star Wars Outlaws, we were all very excited initially, but I know for me, at least personally, I was like, I was worried about that. Like, oh, is this going to feel like Far Cry, but with a Star Wars skin on it? And so even hearing this, as small as this is, I was just like, yes, they're doing it. They're changing things up a little bit. So I just hope this is a sign that there's more changing with their quote unquote formula. You know, they're not just sticking to the normal, Ubisoft thing. They're going to stretch their legs, stretch their wings out, I should say, and really like get creative with it. So I don't know. We'll see. Now, do you have any hopes for this start, or even like thoughts after seeing the trailer, like looking forward, like, okay, what are your thoughts?
I'm absolutely interested in it. 100%.
Okay. Yeah.
I love my mainline Star Wars stories, but I also love when we go off the beaten path and get to see, other sides or other activities going on in the universe, like, Andor or Mandalorian or things like, just things that were happening outside of the Skywalker saga. I think it's cool because it builds the universe out to make it feel alive, right? So when I heard about this coming on, this is like, oh yeah, this is the spiritual successor of pretty much 1313, which was supposed to be kind of the same thing, looking at the seedy underbelly of the Star Wars universe.
Mhm.
So I was all about it. And then we get the original the reveal trailer that had what, like the tiniest sliver of gameplay I think in it.
Yeah, a little tiny bit.
Right. And now we get the expanded trailer, which gives us a little bit of a better look at KVS and, you know, the story and exactly what all we're going to be doing. And I'm stoked for it. I don't really have any other, you know, thoughts about it, except I'm ready to play it. I have thoughts about the marketing for sure. Apparently there's a notion that they're trying to put a mission with Jabba the Hutt behind the season pass.
Yeah.
And I am not
wild.
okay with that, because and you know what that tells me is that Ubisoft is trying to not be Ubisoft anymore, and then also is 100% still trying to be Ubisoft at the same time.
That's true. Even with their pricing model too, they're doing the typical standard edition, gold edition, deluxe edition, or deluxe and then gold, or whatever
Ultimate,
they call it. Ultimate.
superior.
It's like they got like 4 different versions. Like the cheapest one starts at $70 and it goes up to like $120 for a game. It's like, what is
Nuts
going on over there with Ubisoft stuff? But so you're right. In some ways, they're still, you know, Ubisoft's going to Ubisoft. They're gonna do what they always have. But though those are in external things to a certain extent. Where I hope the main game, at least they can shake it up enough to make it fun and interesting. And I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Even
Time
if
will
it
tell.
was samey, I feel like I can forgive it a little bit more if it has a good story.
That's true.
So we shall see. It's August, right?
I actually do not remember. Think so. Yeah, it's fall this year sometime. One thing. It has to have a halfway decent story, because, I mean, frickin' Knights of the Old Republic, I mean, apparently now it's alive and well, but it got shut down a few months ago back when Embracer Group was working on it because of how bad the story was with that. So obviously Disney's not screwing around. If they don't like it, they're shutting stuff down, or at least putting it on hold. So the fact that this Ubisoft game is continuing, it's like, all right, they seem to care about it. And the Star Wars Jedi series has been incredible. Both Fallen Order and Survivor. I did not play Survivor, but from what I've heard is even better than Fallen Order. So I hope that's a good sign with Outlaws. Like they're not shutting it down like they did KOTOR, and they're in their track record. Star Wars games in general, the track record has been good as far as story goes. Story games have been
that's
good.
fair.
So
yeah.
Thank you so much for watching that clip from our podcast. Remember, if you want to watch the whole episode, the full episode, link will be in the description below. You can click on that and check it out. We got listener questions. We got more news segments. We got what you playing. We got a lot of fun things. So yeah, more than just the news. There's a lot more to the show that you should go check out. So remember, click that link in the description. Check out that full episode.